his way back from injury them times. It cost us, really and truly. We need to get out the group stages. It's a minimum, really. Apparently, we are going to be in pot 3 in the Champions League draw, from what I heard, so not looking good. I mean, got to get through it somehow. Hopefully, we pay off who we need to pay off. I think that's about 60 million guaranteed if we go past the group stages of the Champions League. If we look at some of the talking points, have I missed out anything here? What's this? This is nothing. David Ornstein's confirmed Saliba is going to miss the rest of the season. Again, I don't think anybody is surprised there. What's going on here, man? Apparently, Arsenal's qualification for the Champions League is set to be worth around 50 million at least, with that figure then rising depending on their progress. The increased revenues will not all be converted into transfer fees for new signings, as the club's wage bill will rise as a result of Champions League related clauses in first team contract. We need to get 5 players of quality in the summer. Jesus also goes down too easily. He twice went down looking for pens late against the Saints, and both times the ball came back near when he was sat on the floor. I hear that, but I need him to be like Lacazette and search for pens, man. We need to be a bit nastier. Anyone surprised about Saliba? I don't know. Come on, Twitter, man. What's going on? Why is everything freezing? Okay. Apparently, the feature of Edu's time at Arsenal has been the intensive preparation for each window. Club sources have cited their ability to quickly pivot to other targets in January, such as the Andrew Trossard, evidence of preparation that goes into each transfer period. I'm not knocking it. I respect it, but I'm not going to praise us for that. You should have alternatives. You know, Trossard had one foot out the door at Brighton. The Mudryk thing didn't happen. Go and make it. Previous years, we have shown an inability to do exactly that. So I praise Eddie for that. But in terms of just being a competent team, doing competent things, I don't think that's praiseworthy, if I'm completely honest with you. What else have we got here? Last season, the 4 English teams in the Champions League made an average of 88 million each as a result of their participation in Europe's primary competition. In comparison, the winners of the Europa League, Frankfurt, made around 34 million. So you can see the piece. So yeah, DJ, I watched your video on that right back, and you said you'd prefer Fresanda. Could I ask you why? Just seen a bit more of him. I just think, for me, it's like what I read about Fresanda, his mentality. I think that's what changes it for me. But would love, I think you're talking about Anu Martinez of Genoa and obviously Fresanda. Arsenal's hope in January was that they would add Caicedo for the remainder of this season and then add Rice in the summer. It was not a case of one or the other. Arsenal also showed an interest in Everton's Onana in the January window. So I mean, if Lavia in Southampton and Onana and Everton go down, we can go back in for that. And I don't think we get Rice and Caicedo just because I think another club will pip us to it. But in terms of an 8 and a 6, you need both. And if Arteta wants both of them, it'd be great, innit? But we need both. We need, in midfield, there's no 8 or a 6. You need to get both of them. And we've been knowing this since Partey. Thankfully, in hindsight, we didn't sign Aouar. But if you remember, we was doing all of that. And if Partey never had a release clause, he doesn't sign for Arsenal. If you remember how that window went. Declan Rice is known to be a top target for Arsenal this summer. Arsenal wanted to sign Caicedo in January before then adding Rice in the summer. It is understood Caicedo, who wanted to move to the Emirates, remains on Arsenal's list of potential targets. So we'll see. Every player needs every position, needs a competitive player pushing to start. We are too nice as a team. We need to learn to be nasty sometimes and start developing dark arts on the pitch. It's one thing to go down looking for a pen. It's another to stay on the deck whilst the ball is live and pinging about in the box. I agree with you. Arsenal should grab Maddison on the cheap for Odegaard. Boy, no one is surprised about Saliba. Allegedly, Romano and Caicedo said he actually agreed to sign for Arsenal in January. According to Fabrizio Romano, Caicedo actually agreed terms with Arsenal in the January window. That's nothing surprising, but you need to agree the transfer fee with the club. Romano said on the situation, for Caicedo, I keep going with the English clubs. Arsenal made a bid of 70 million in January that was rejected. They really wanted the player and they agreed terms with the player, but that didn't happen. Let's see if Arsenal return with an official bid, but the interest is still there. Logic suggests that Arsenal could go for Caicedo again this summer and get a deal done, but sadly, it may not be that straightforward for the Gunners. Indeed, not only does Caicedo remain an incredibly expensive player, he's also since signed a new deal with Brighton. Of course, Arsenal are still much richer and much more prestigious than Brighton, but in modern football, dealing with talented young players and their agents can be incredibly difficult. Arsenal may have to go back to square one if they want to try and close a deal for Caicedo at the end of the season, people. Apparently, Nicolas Pepe, Arsenal's record signing, is regarded as unlikely to feature for the club again. Arsenal will make around 6 million through the sale of Pablo Marí to Monza, provided the Italian club avoid relegation and Marí plays the required amount of games. And yeah, how much did we sign him for? He took an L there. I think this is just the same with Caicedo agreeing personal terms with us. Everyone agrees personal terms. Do you know how many transfers fell? Apparently, Ornstein was asked if Arsenal could sign both Declan Rice and Caicedo, and apparently he's responded specifically. It perhaps illustrates that Mikel Arteta really wants a prominent signing in there to help this squad going forward. So I'm really intrigued to see in which direction they go. Many Arsenal fans are asking me all the time. We know that the interest in Rice is strong. We knew interest in Caicedo was strong, but I don't know which way they'll go or if there are other options. There has to be other options. I don't think they would go for both given the costs involved. Let's see, because those clubs have to be willing sellers. I mean, Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano saying very conflicting things, but nobody really knows. Arsenal are holding internal discussions. I assume this is about, I was about to say Declan Rice, but about Mason Mount. People allegedly, Arsenal are considering the England man as they look to add depth to their quality in midfield. People this summer. We'll have to see. And he's, if I skip ahead, they've definitely got it somewhere. Declan Rice is drawing interest from just about anyone. Liverpool, Man United, and Arsenal, as well as Bayern Munich, people. So we're going to have to monitor that. And he could be, his agent, if he's doing his job, could be leveraging that to get a better deal at Chelsea. Arsenal prepare for Declan Rice swoop, despite David Moyes claiming it would take an English record to sign the West Ham midfielder, with the club also eyeing summer moves for Moses Caicedo and Mason Mount. Declan Rice is the top target. So that's, if it comes to it, that based on what this is said, that tells you we'll probably accept Rice and go after alternatives. Arsenal are set to step up their bid to sign Declan Rice this summer as the 24-year-old approaches the final year of his contract with West Ham. For the 55th time, Rice has long been understood to be Arsenal's top target for the upcoming transfer window, with Mikel Arteta not the only Premier League manager to be outspoken of admiration for the midfielder. Scrolling all the way down, despite Rice's deal at the London Stadium expiring in June 2024, David Moyes is resolute that his captain, will not be leaving the club in for a cut price fee in the summer. Blah, blah, blah. Get to the major parts when we've seen this all the time. According to the Telegraph, Arsenal are prepared to renew their interest in Caicedo this summer as well. And we're looking at not only Declan Rice and Caicedo, but Mason Mount. So we'll have to see. Apparently, Arsenal have reached out to Chelsea and held exploratory conversations regarding him. He's in his final year. They'll probably have to sell him in the summer. Once again, West Ham are apparently demanding 100 million. Now, as the summer goes on, they're going to have to be a bit sensible. Previously this week, Declan Rice's manager, David Moyes, has admitted he could go. He'd be missed by any club, so any club who didn't have him would miss him, and we certainly would, partly because he's a big part. But I hope somewhere is that Dec thinks this is the best place for him to be, and if someone doesn't come up with the right amount of money, it will continue to be the place he is as well. The club have made that pretty plain, but I hope we can continue to get the best out of him. So we'll have to see, people, in relation to that. Keeping up the theme of West Ham and Arsenal, apparently they're interested in Balogun, people. We'll have to see how that goes. Balogun, who wants to be a first-choice striker, and he also, as we know, Leipzig don't want to pay the asking price, but Leipzig, Inter Milan, AC Milan are all interested. We'll have to watch that space closely. Kieran Tierney's been linked with Man City, so if Pep reckons he's good for the system there, why don't you Arteta, if that's the case? City explore conditions of Kieran. They've been linked with a lot of left backs. They've been linked with Robertson of Fulham. They've been linked with Aaron Hickey, who can play right and left back of Brentford. They've once again been linked with Tierney and probably some others. They have missed Zinchenko, really. And obviously Caicedo leaving has probably made that worse. We've been linked with Zaha again, people. Salary requests could give Gunners edge. Apparently the Gunners have made contact with the 30-year-old's entourage. Arsenal wanted to sign the Crystal Palace star in the summer. It's been further discussed on RMC Sport. He's also drawing interest from Marseille and Paris Saint-Germain, and his agent has offered him to both people. Arsenal are interested in acquiring him. Marseille are unwilling to meet his salary expectations, and obviously Arsenal could offer him a lot more. I think the boat sailed for Zaha personally, but if Arteta wants it, why not? We all know Pepe's days are numbered. This is an article further displaying that he has little chance of playing for Arsenal again, and we know that, especially with his comments that he made recently as well. I mean, until Declan Rice and Caicedo need to be reporting to London Coley, such as all these rumours. What's this? We've been linked to Rafinha again. Apparently, Barca will let him leave for 55 million. Newcastle, Spurs, Arsenal have all been once again linked. Apparently, Xhaka was furious with Ramsdale giving the ball away against City. Everyone should be furious with their teammates and themselves because no one put in a shift. AC Milan are seriously considering signing Arsenal player for free this summer. Once again, Reece Nelson's been linked with another club. Clearly, contract talks haven't progressed as of yet. Apparently, Arsenal are looking at Pedro Neto in relation to providing competition and depth where Bukayo Saka is on the right wing. The only thing I would say of Pedro Neto is his output isn't the best, and he's had 2 big injuries despite his young age. So it all depends on the price, but I'm not against him. Apparently, coming out of France, there have been a lot of debate about Balogun's future and his price tag. But personally, I can see that link between Arsenal and Marseille being used again, perhaps in the form of a loan or a loan with an option or an obligation to buy. It'd be a good experience for Balogun, but it also gives Arsenal at least a semi-guarantee to be able to cash in on him, whereas other clubs might not yet be ready to pay top dollar for a player who's had just 1 successful season in Liga, as impressive as he's been for Reims. Fair enough. I mean, if Balogun wants to leave, fair enough, cut in it, but would like him to stay. For what you can see here, Arsenal sporting director Edu has reshuffled his department, with Jason Atto appointed assistant sporting director and James Ellis promoted head of recruitment. Fair enough. That's just come out. Should we see this in the Athletic? Please don't be jargon. Big up my guy. Oh, my guy. Arsenal sporting director Edu has reshuffled his department, with Jason Eto appointed assistant sporting director. So that must mean we can deal with the workload a lot better. And James Ellis promoted to head of recruitment. Apparently, the Athletic previously reported that Eto and Ellis were both set for role changes at the club. They will support Edu in their new remits, working across the men's and women's team as well as the academy. And obviously, Arteta and the women's boss, if I can never pronounce his name, their roles changed last summer. Edu's become a sporting director. The Kroenke's become co-chair. So this is further confirming the reshuffle and things like that. Ellis has come a long way. He was a first-team scout, and now he's taking on great responsibility. So, yeah, off topic. That's that, people. We've seen that already. We've spoken about that. I mean, we need a right back. Meunier of Borussia Dortmund allegedly wants to leave, and he hopes Barca will make a move for him. Is that something we could consider? Gnabry's been linked with a move away. I don't think there's a need for Gnabry. I want Gnabry. I don't think there's a need for Gnabry. But nonetheless, Bayern Munich would listen to offers for Gnabry this summer. The player has not made a decision yet and is not in talks with other clubs. Gnabry is not happy in Munich. He's one of the top earners and is highly respected within the team. I mean, Sane, Mane, and Gnabry all been linked with moves away. Apparently, Bayern is very open to sell at least one winger this summer. As reported in the case of Gnabry, the club would be open for suitable offers. Gnabry has not made a decision yet. No concrete talks with other clubs. Yet he's not unhappy in Munich. Fair enough. Once again, Mason Mount's interest is growing in acquiring his services, and we have allegedly done stuff in relation to that. Arsenal could follow up their interest in Ivan Fresneda, the Real Valladolid right back. Arsenal's recruitment team put in a considerable amount of legwork in their assessment of Fresneda in January, with a view to a possible move in the summer for the 18-year-old. And check out the other vids. He's previously spoke about how he watches European football and he's rating what Arteta is doing. Jonathan David, a striker that's been linked with Arsenal. Apparently, Bayern Munich are among several European top clubs keeping tabs on Jonathan David. Nevertheless, the club has yet to identify their targets concretely for the summer. Lille want around 65 million. Good player, but I don't know about that. I can't lie. Apparently, this is our new kit now. Leaks are one thing, but take my money, Arsenal. If this is it, this is wavy. Take my cash, man. Take my cash. I'm gonna get all the kits, but yeah, take my money, man. Take my money. Take it. Have it. Let's see what's being said here. PSG are plotting a mega 120 million euro offer for Bukayo Saka. Leave it out. Arsenal have joined Aston Villa in the race to sign Openda. I mean, he's scoring a decent amount of goals in Liga, so the 23-year-old's obviously going to draw a lot of interest from a lot of clubs. We joined the race for Ryan Gravenberch. Kante is not looking to move on from Chelsea in the summer. Yesterday, we saw reports that we've agreed a 2-year deal. We're pushing to sign Zaha. Low. We're interested in Victor Rourke. His price tag's been revealed, 35 to 40 million. Newcastle are confident they'll sign Tierney. Arsenal could sign both Declan Rice and Mason Mount this summer. Like the hand-holding thing, what's all of that? We've targeted Mason Mount. We've sent scouts to watch Zubamendi and Robin Lomad of Sociedad. We're keen on signing Missouri, who's probably just been linked with us because he's a right back and not playing at Bayern Munich. We're fighting Newcastle over the RB. We're ready to splash 100 million on Declan Rice. AC Milan and Leipzig are looking at Balogun. So, yeah, people, we've offered Nelson a deal, but he's been linked with clubs, been linked with Neuhaus. We're still in the race for Vlahovic. Half of this is nonsense, as you lot know, people, but the dream is free. The hustle is sold separately. Big up Charles Watts, but that think piece is a madness, man. So, with that appears to be the latest news, views, gossip, rumors, all of that good stuff, people. Latest transfer news. Sorry if he was making a timestamp. So yeah, we're back again. What else are we saying? People, sorry for that. Another Pepe, Zaha, nah, bro. Jonathan David is a no go. Bring Gnabry back. Once a Gooner, always a Gooner. Coleman is the guy I'd won off Bayern. Gnabry was shocking against City. Neto will be in A&E. That's harsh. Neto has scored and assisted zero. Has assisted as much as you and me this season. Zero, harsh. 100 million for Rice. Joke. I reckon Balogun is what we need next season. I mean, I'll give him a chance, but you're very similar to Eddie and Jesus in terms of stature. We will not get Rice, I swear.